What will Ukraine have to do to make this funding and this round of support, assuming it passes, work for them against Russia?
Oh, we've got to get it there. That's the most important thing. If you pass the bill today, most of that stuff cannot be easily airlifted right to the battlefield. It's got to be shipped. Some of it goes by plane. Some of it may go by ship. It goes to Poland. It gets driven in. They need it desperately right now. And Ukraine's fighting hard. You can't take anything away from them. They just don't have the means to defend themselves. You know, they looked at what we did with our allies to protect Israel, and they're asking themselves, why can't? I mean, here's Ukraine. We didn't attack Russia. They attacked us unprovoked. And can't we get a little bit more help and support from our friends and fellow democracies in the West who say they believe in? We're fighting for what you stand for. It's a tragic situation. We've got to get that aid in there as rapidly as possible.
Well, General, as you speak to this idea, though, that there will be somewhat of a lagged effect of the aid actually passing and then arriving in Ukraine, is that something that Russia would be able to take advantage of? If Putin knows more help is coming, what is he likely to do in the interim period between when the help says it's coming and when the help actually arrives?
Going to do everything he can to stall when it gets here. That's the first thing. But he's building up his forces. He's making headway. We've lost about 40 kilometers from Bakhmut back to the west. And Putin will attempt, as the season dries out even more, and he gets across some of these river obstacles that are there in front of him, he's going to make a run for it. He's going to try to break through. He's going to go as far west as he can go. Can he get to Kyiv? Probably not. But can he isolate Kharkiv? Definitely. He doesn't want to have to fight in a city. He's cut off the electricity there right now. They have no power, is what I'm told. They have no real air defense left in that area. And so he's going to starve them out and freeze them out or burn them out and whatever he needs. This is a very, very serious situation because it reflects on the credibility of America and it's our security at risk. So when we tell Israel, don't retaliate, we'll take care of you, and they look at how we're taking care of Ukraine, imagine how much confidence they have in us.
General, there was a statement issued by the House Intelligence Committee. It came from Chair Mike Turner, Ranking Member Jim Himes, that got our attention. With specific regard to this conversation, it was calling for the passage of aid to Ukraine, and one line jumped out. Today, in a classified briefing, it says, our committee was informed of the critical need to provide Ukraine military aid this week. What were they talking about in such an imminent manner?
I don't know what they could be saying. I mean, look, we've got the need for Ukraine is urgent. It's desperate. It will make a difference. They need Patriot missiles. They need long-range ATACMS, and they need 155 artillery rounds, and they need Western logistics support. And President Macron of France said that we should consider putting some troops in there. He's absolutely right. You have to keep Putin off balance. You can't deter someone if you tell them exactly what the boundaries are. And, so far in dealing with Putin, we've been deterred by Putin. He's been assured that we won't do this, we won't do that, we don't want this, we won't do that. So he's free to operate. What President Macron was saying, which I think makes a lot of sense, is you've got to have some ambiguity in your commitment. He's discussed potentially putting French troops in, for example, to help secure Odessa. This is important steps forward for the West and for Ukraine.
Well, General, it's interesting to hear you say this, as you also are drawing a bit of a contrast to the U.S. support in Israel and in the Middle East, where no line has been drawn to say that there will be no U.S. boots on the ground, which was drawn immediately when Russia first invaded Ukraine, that no U.S. troops would go there. You used to be the Supreme Allied Commander in Europe for NATO, and you don't think we should rule out that eventually NATO troops may actually indeed have to do something tangibly on the ground?
We can't rule that out. From the beginning, we should have taken advantage of Ukraine's airspace. We should never have said to Russia, okay, since you've invaded Ukraine, we're not going to touch Ukraine and please don't hurt us. Instead, we should have said, you invaded a sovereign country. We respect the international rules-based order. This is their airspace. we're going to continue to fly support and supplies and humanitarian assistance into Kyiv. You mess with us at your own risk. So we should have turned it around on them, and we didn't. And we're still reeling from the effects of this. If we had given Kyiv what they asked for initially, the artillery, the HIMARS, the ATACMS, the F-16s, we wouldn't be in this position today.
Well, General, we've heard the term World War III thrown around recently with regard to what's happening in the Middle East. You're suggesting the potential for a direct conflict between the United States and Russia. What would that lead to?
What I'm saying is that the post-Cold War is over. It's a new era. You have a group of nations that are lining up increasingly together against us: Russia, China, Iran, North Korea. They are willing to use force in ways that no one would have anticipated. Russia in Ukraine, 350 missiles striking at Israel. Nuclear power is now on the table. The threat issued today by Khamenei in Iran, that sounds nuclear to me. It's exactly what Putin was saying to us a couple of years ago in Ukraine. This is a new era. We have to understand that if we're going to fulfill our obligations, preserve peace, maintain American security, the old way of thinking about things, of being noble and nice and slow and, gee, I'm sure you didn't mean it and all that, that worked when we were the only superpower, but we're under threat right now and we're being challenged. Putin believes he's at war with us. Mike McCall says Russia's in our political system. There's no doubt about that. And they're affecting policy making in the United States. So we have to just face facts here. It's not that anybody wants a confrontation, but if you keep backing away and backing away and backing away, you are inviting an escalation of violence against us.